You are studying for hours, but your grades are still trash. You're not alone in feeling that way. It is the most frustrating part of being a student. But what if I told you that you could study with the same focus as one of the biggest stars in the world? Zendaya's rise to become a 2-time Emmy winner and global icon wasn't just about talent. It was built on powerful habits and an incredible work ethic that can totally revolutionize how you study. Now, she hasn't published a Zendaya study guide, but we can borrow the principles she lives by: intense preparation, discipline, and self-awareness, and apply them directly to your schoolwork. These aren't just fluffy, celebrity-inspired tips. They are real strategies based on the mindset that drives world-class success. In this video, we're breaking down 5 of her core principles into easy study hacks that will turn her on-set discipline into your at-home focus. So if you're ready to stop just working hard and start working smart, let's get into it. Hack number 1, the Meticulous Prep method. Stop cramming for tests. It is literally the worst way to study, and you forget everything the next day. It feels productive, but it's a massive waste of time. The fix is something we'll call the Meticulous Prep method, and it's inspired by Zendaya's insane approach to her roles. For her part in Euphoria, the director said she researched her character's psychology deeper than almost any actor he'd ever seen. For The Greatest Showman, she spent months learning the trapeze just to do her own stunts. This isn't just about working hard, it's about going so deep you understand the why behind everything. So how do you use this? It's simple. Before you touch a single flashcard, you need to understand the big picture. If you're studying a historical battle, don't just memorize the date. I want you to research the social conditions, what motivated the people involved, and what happened years later. If you're learning a hard biology topic, find videos that show it in the real world. Go beyond what's in the textbook. When you build this massive web of knowledge in your brain, I promise you, memorizing becomes a side effect of actually understanding. You're creating connections that make it so much easier to remember things under pressure. We've all been there. You reread your notes so many times the pages are glowing yellow, and you feel like you know it all. But the second the exam starts, your mind goes completely blank. This is called the illusion of familiarity. Rereading is passive. It tricks your brain into thinking it knows something just because it looks familiar. The solution is a scientifically proven method called active recall, and it perfectly reflects a core principle Zendaya learned early in her life. Learning is an active process. She has openly said that she had to retake kindergarten because she was too shy to ask for help. That experience shows you can't just passively wait for knowledge to come to you. You have to actively go and get it. Active recall flips studying upside down. Instead of pouring information in, you have to force yourself to pull it out. It's the difference between watching someone lift weights and actually lifting them yourself. Research shows again and again that forcing your brain to retrieve information makes your memory way stronger than passive learning. Here's what you're going to do. After you read a chapter, slam the book shut. Then write down everything you can possibly remember. Make flashcards, but force yourself to say the answer out loud before you flip it over. And the most important part, do practice tests like it's the real thing. No peeking at your notes. This will feel way harder than rereading, and that's the point. That struggle is literally your brain building stronger memories. It's not about what you know, it's about proving you can retrieve it on command. When you use active recall, you're not just studying, you're training to win on test day. The number one enemy of a good study session is distraction. Your phone buzzes, a new video pops up, you decide to quickly check your email. Every tiny interruption destroys your concentration, making it impossible to get into deep focus, leave you exhausted and behind. The solution is to enter what we call monk mode focus, inspired by how Zendaya handles her work. She has been open about her anxiety and the insane pressure to be perfect. She channels that energy by controlling her environment and preparing like crazy, and you can use that same discipline for your study space. Monk mode is about creating a bubble of pure focus, and your secret weapon is the Pomodoro method. This strategy breaks your work into 25-minute sprints with short breaks in between. While some new research is mixed, some studies have shown these structured bursts can reduce fatigue and boost focus. The real magic is its structure. It helps you beat procrastination by promising that a break is always just around the corner. Here's your action plan. First, pick one exact task, not study bio, but review Chapter 5 on cellular respiration. Second, set a timer for 25 minutes. During this time, it's just you and that one task. Phone on silent and out of sight. No other tabs open. When the timer dings, take a real 5-minute break. Get up, stretch, drink water, but do not touch your phone. After 4 of these sessions, take a longer 15 to 30-minute break. By controlling your environment like this, you take back control of your focus. Now, let's get to our last 2 hacks. It is so easy to only study the subjects you're already good at while avoiding the ones that are hard. That is a huge mistake for your grades. You might get an A in one class, but your overall growth stops because you're scared of struggling or feeling like you don't know anything. Zendaya, she didn't just stay on the Disney Channel. She took massive leaps into incredibly hard roles in projects like Euphoria and Dune. It shows a belief she's talked about. You have to keep challenging yourself to find out what you're really capable of. In your studies, you can do this with a technique called interleaving. Instead of studying math for 3 hours straight, which is boring, you alternate between different subjects. For example, do 45 minutes of math, then switch to 45 minutes of history, and then maybe some Spanish. At first, this is going to feel less productive because your brain has to work harder to switch gears. But that's exactly why it is so powerful. Interleaving forces your brain to constantly remember different ways to solve problems, which builds mental flexibility and makes your long-term memory stronger for all the subjects. Do not be afraid to be a beginner. Embrace the struggle. Just like Zendaya didn't let her past define her future, don't let one bad grade in a subject hold you back. The struggle is where you win. This final problem might be the biggest mistake of all. You're using study methods that work for other people, even if they don't work for you. You see perfect color-coded notes and think you should do it too. You hear about a study group and join, even though you focus better alone. It's like trying to wear clothes that don't fit. It's not going to work. The solution is the Authenticity Audit, inspired by Zendaya's insane commitment to her own path. She has always talked about listening to her own instincts instead of doing what people expect. It's a journey she's on herself, saying she's a natural perfectionist, but is learning to be more patient and kind to herself. An authenticity audit is about figuring out how your brain actually thinks. It's about stepping back and asking if your study habits are actually helping you. At the end of each week, I challenge you to ask yourself, what technique actually made me feel focused? When was I most distracted? Did that 3-hour library session actually help, or was I just pretending to study? Am I smarter in the morning or at night? Maybe you learn best by walking around your room and explaining concepts out loud. Maybe you need complete silence, not a coffee shop playlist. Zendaya had to find her own ways to deal with her shyness and anxiety, like pushing herself to have conversations even when it felt weird.
Your study routine has to be as unique as you are. Stop copy-pasting someone else's formula. Take the time to understand your own brain. Building a study routine that is 100% yours is the ultimate hack for getting grades you can be proud of. So there you have it, 5 insane study hacks inspired by the discipline and mindset of Zendaya. This is Peak Razor. Let's build productivity systems that wins daily.